Hi there, folks. Sean Broderick. I'm here at the 49 North Resource Conference in San Francisco, and I'm speaking to Jeff Wilhoit. He is the VP of Investor Relations for Goldcorp. Now, you know Goldcorp. I've talked about those guys plenty of time. One of the best miners in the world, really. And, they have been adjusting to the price of gold just like everyone else. Jeff's just going to give us the scoop on what Goldcorp will be doing in the fourth quarter and also early next year. Jeff, could you please speak to my subscribers?
Sure, Sean, and thanks again for the opportunity.
Sure.
I just wanted to let people have a bit of an update as to where Goldcorp is. We released our third quarter earnings in late October. I think we can most optimistically characterize that production as somewhat mediocre. All of our mines just generally had a slower quarter than perhaps the market expected. But we feel, and again, as we stated in our third quarter release, we reconfirmed that we are on track for our 2014 guidance, albeit at the low end of our range. We got off to a good start in the month of October, but certainly we'll be tracking that, and we'll deliver that fourth quarter production news in early January as part of our annual guidance release, where we'll give you not only 2014 actual production, but 2015 gold production guidance.
Now, one of the things about your company is you usually have a stronger half of the year, a stronger second half of the year rather than the first half, isn't that right?
That is correct, and it's no small source of frustration for some of us on occasion, as it's obviously human nature to want to feel more comfortable having something in the bag as you get closer to the end of the year, but it's just been a function of the mine plans at our 10 mines around the world, around the Americas, that they tend to have stronger second halves than first halves. It's not anything that we should be overly concerned about. Obviously, we'd like to have, again, some in the bag heading into the fourth quarter, but like I said, all our flagship mines are performing very well, and we're cautiously optimistic that we're on track to hit our guidance. And in addition, we've got two new sources of production in the fourth quarter that we didn't have this time last year. Our Cerro Negro mine in Argentina, which hit first production just in the third quarter, as well our Éléonore mine in northern Quebec. Both are now producing mines. We expect Cerro Negro to achieve commercial production here in the fourth quarter, at the end of the quarter, and then Éléonore is on track for commercial production in the first quarter. So two brand new sources of high quality, low cost gold production that this company didn't have a year ago.
Speaking of the costs, what are the costs on those mines?
We haven't provided new cost data for either mine. That'll be part of our guidance release in early January, and we'll give you fresh cost guidance for both. But you can appreciate that they're both low cost mines, high quality, higher grade gold production. So you can expect those costs to be at the low end of our cost range company wide.
Good, and also you have something new coming online up near the Red Lake mine, isn't that right?
We do, and thank you. That's we think of that as kind of our third new gold project, but new only in the sense that it's a new deposit, but it has a very familiar address. Just 5 kilometers away from our Red Lake mine, which has been the most prolific gold mine in Canada for 60 odd years, obviously a company maker for Goldcorp, and we have a new exciting deposit that we are very close to achieving production from on a regular basis. And it's a bit of an interesting way that we're actually tunneling 5 kilometers underneath, about a mile deep, and we're going to burrow right into the deposit, and we're going to take the ore from that deposit, tunnel it back across, and process it at our existing Red Lake processing facility. So it's, again, a low-cost option on a very strong gold deposit, which will ensure the longer-term future of Red Lake.
And so that is the Kirshner.
Coaster, yes.
Right, and so that grades at around 19 grams per ton, and that's going to be replacing a Campo, which was lower grade, but is starting to run out now. So actually into that processing
plant, you'll have higher grade coming in, which will in turn lower costs.
That is
right?
the plan. We need to prove up that 18, 19 gram level, but certainly we expect to do so. We've undertaken a drilling campaign to fill in some of those drill holes at depth in the Koshner deposit to ensure that grade continues to track up toward where we expect it to be. But yes, with Campbell grades being significantly lower, we can expect a nice trade-off where we trade lower depleting production with higher grade strong production that will be around for many, many years.
Well, that sounds like a fascinating underground story, and I love underground mines. Don't tell my wife if I go to visit that one. She always freaks out. But that is really interesting. Sounds like a great story. I know that one thing also people will be looking for is to see how you price your reserves next year when like that comes up, because we're looking at all the gold companies
Sure.
to see what they do, you know. And one thing you and I were speaking of before is you're always straightforward on this, but you're just going to give people an idea what they can expect at like different prices of gold. Isn't that right?
Sure. And again, we haven't disclosed what we're going to actually, what gold price we will use for gold reserves and resources next year. But this current year, we're at $1,300 gold, and that's admittedly on the higher side of where our peer group is in terms of the gold price used for reserves. I think we maybe charged as being a bit more optimistic than our peers on where we think the price of the metal is going. We're gold bulls, but we also realize that this is a tricky business, and you have to be in it for the boom and the bust cycles. So we built the company on much more conservative gold price, $1,200 and even lower. But when we give you our reserve and resource statement in February, along with our earnings, we'll provide sensitivities at different gold prices from $1,300 to $1,200 and so forth. So our investors and followers can determine for themselves where the state of our gold reserves are.
Okay, great. Well, folks, I think that the optimism has been beaten out of this industry with a pickaxe, and I think now is when you can start to look at great companies trading at great prices. Goldcorp is one of those. Thanks very much for speaking to my subscribers. Is there anything you want to add before we go?
So we have a busy news flow here, as we alluded to. We've got, obviously we're tracking toward commercial production achievement at our two newest mines over the next 2 quarters. So those will be important pieces of news. Look to see if or when we achieve our 2014 production guidance, and I'll be rooting right along with the rest of you. So
okay, great.
Thanks again, Sean, for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. And you folks stay tuned. I'll have more for you from the 49 North Conference in San Francisco.